What's up, guys? It's TheAireaidLord, and today I have a very special video to make for you today. This does not have to do with video gaming at all, and I'm sure this is going to be a shock to most people, but over the years I've said that I always loved video games. I played them with my friends wherever I lived. I always interacted with people and played them, but I never actually mentioned that during my video gaming hobby I actually had another hobby which I took way more seriously, and I actually had a very fun time doing it. I collected these cards almost all the time. It was very fun. My friends in New Jersey, when I used to live with them, we collected these cards. When I moved, not so much, and then I got out of it, and then I sold all the cards, and I got money off of eBay from them. But, of course, I'm talking about Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is, if you don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, it's basically a popular card series that sprouted, how old is Yu-Gi-Oh!? I don't know, 10, 12 years old? I know it started sometime in the late 90s, and that's when I got into it, and at the time, it was still new. They had come out with the TV show in Japan, and then they put it into several different languages, including English, and they put it on the kids' channel. I forget what it was called, and I actually watched the original TV show, and I really liked it. I was a fan of the TV show and the card game, so I collected the cards, watched the TV show. I actually went to tournaments, won some money at tournaments, won some competitions. I traveled around and did a lot of that stuff, and it was fun. My friends traveled around with me, and this is basically my equivalent of, I don't know, maybe a Street Fighter competition, because some of my friends, Coruchado, Phil, Rambo, a lot of those guys did competitive Street Fighter. Well, I basically did competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing, which is basically a card game. I know, it's funny, when I go to some conventions like MagFest, like Kineticon, at these conventions I see guys playing Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's not really in my place to film it because the game has changed so much. They have all these new TV shows that are shit. And of course I have no time to watch those shows anymore, but they have shows like Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds and Zexal and all these stupid shows that really have nothing to do with the original TV show, nothing to do with the original cards. And there's this whole new concept behind the cards, like their synchro summon cards, and it's this whole freaking new retarded concept to Yu-Gi-Oh! Card playing, which is not original to the original cards in any way, shape, or form. So that's one of the reasons I kind of fell out with it. Another reason is, if you want to know my history, I started playing it in the late 90s, and I think I stopped in 2005, 2006, and I went to competitions around the time when games like Jak and Daxter were coming out and stuff, and it was fun. I mean, I won some money off of this stuff, and I'd use the money to buy new cards. And unfortunately, the only thing I have remaining of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Card collection is what's in this box. I think there are more cards stored away somewhere, but I don't. They're very little. There's really no cards left. It's basically this tin and a couple of other cards in a binder, which there's only 2 or 3. So at one point, I think I had over 5,000 Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards collected. I'm not shitting you. 5,000 Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. And basically what I did was I put them into decks of 100, and I actually went on eBay and I sold it. And I actually got really gypped. I had some really, really rare cards, and I ended up getting gypped because I sold my 5,000 cards for about $150 off of eBay. I think it was 4 years ago that I did that. 2006, 7, I sold those cards. And of course the guy was like, oh, all these cards aren't rare. And I wanted to fucking punch him in the face because I sold him 5,000 cards for $150. I really got gypped, but whatever. I wasn't thinking about it in terms of money. At the time, I just wanted to get rid of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards because I knew that I had a shitload of them. I mean, I remember in this little corner right here next to my dresser, I remember there being stacks and stacks and stacks of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that were overflowing, and I had to sort them all out to sell to this guy, so obviously, right now, there's no Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, but all we have is this. And I actually, right now, I kind of want to do an unboxing. It's not really an unboxing, but I want to show you guys the deck of cards that I now have that I don't use anymore. This is in storage. I just keep this around just for kicks. I'm not going to sell these cards. I'm just going to keep them. Maybe, in a couple of years they'll be really rare. Maybe I can just sell them. But it's really just for collection purposes, just to remember that I used to do this. I only have a couple of cards, so it's not really much. But right now I'm going to unbox this. This is the Rocket Warrior tin set. At the time, it was new when I bought this, and you could buy it, and it came with like a Joey deck from the TV show. He had Rocket Warriors, one of his cards, so that's what it came from. So, without further ado, let me put the camera down for a minute. I know I usually do this. I'm going to open up the tin, and I'm going to show you guys everything that's inside here, okay? So, right here, we have lots of foils, okay? These are some holographic foils, and here are some red foils. Here's a purple foil. These are all foils to protect your cards. I know a lot of these are old. Here's a roar, blah, blah, blah. Here's a pink foil. That's really stupid. Alright, so now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to get into the cards, alright? So, I have some cards right here. Let's go through them. I don't know if any of you guys are fans of Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe you'll know what these cards are. I know what these cards are. I mean, even not having played the game for years and years and years, I still remember what these cards are. So, this is one thing, this is something very unique. I know people always like to complain and say that I'm similar to a whole bunch of commentators, but at least all these commentators never played Yu-Gi-Oh! At least I don't think a lot of them did. So, alright. First card that we have is, what is this, Sakuratsu Armor? Basically, I don't even know what the fuck it does. It says, you can only activate this card, declares an attack, it destroys the monster. Alright. Yeah, that's basically how Yu-Gi-Oh! Worked. There were Magic Trap and Monster cards, and you used the monsters to attack, and it has a whole bunch of attack. This is Mystical Space Typhoon, a magic card. Well, it's a spell card, because the trading card game Magic the Gathering had a fucking tizzy fit years ago, and they forced Shonen Jump and Konami to change the name to fucking Spell, because, oh my god, it's similar to Magic the Gathering, so therefore, I mean, it's like, alright, whatever, fuck you. We have a Berserk Gorilla, shiny Berserk Gorilla. That'd be funny if my fans wanted to buy these. That'd be hilarious. I'd fucking like sell these old Yu-Gi-Oh cards I haven't used in years. Mage Power. Awesome. I forget what a lot of these cards do, and I'm not going to read them off. Magic Cylinder, a rare Magic Cylinder. What is that? It's a limited edition Magic Cylinder. Oh, that's pretty cool. What else do we have? We have another Mystical Space Typhoon. We have Snipe Hunter, which has a pretty interesting ability of being able to destroy any card as long as you roll the dice correctly. Negate Attack, probably very self-explanatory. Heavy Storm, I guess it's useful. Well, that's not focusing very well for you to read it, but Heavy Storm destroys all Magic and Trap cards. Penguin Soldier, this fat fuck, I don't even need to see him. Man-Eater Bug, very classic for killing monsters. Wabaku. No battle damage. I think. Yeah, that was what it said. Nightmare Penguin. And I think in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Show, one of the villains was Nightmare Penguin in the virtual world, so I think that's why I had that card. Swords of Revealing Light. Useful for no attacking. A very common card. A very old card. This is a pretty rare card, Beast King Barbaros. I used this card a lot when I actually played. I think I moved it multiple times between decks. Now keep in mind, when I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to like switch between decks. And I used to alternate. I didn't use the same deck. I had multiple decks, but right now I only have one that I don't use anymore, obviously, as I just mentioned. Okay, and now we have Return Zombie in shiny form, mint form, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I know there's names for it. It's like ultra rare, super rare. I know there's like certain names for how shiny or rare a card is, but I don't really remember the name of it. This is Neo Bug. I guess it's Neo's pet from the fucking Matrix. Monster Reborn, one of the most common Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Unfortunately, I think it's banned. That's what happens. All the major tournaments get rid of cards they think are too powerful, which kind of fucking sucks. Because as soon as somebody comes up with a winning strategy at a tournament, they'll always ban the card that they use. It always happens. Like, I remember when this guy he used Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. I still remember the card name. He used it to win the tournament, and then they banned it the next year, of course, but whatever. That was the year I was actually experimenting with Blackluster Soldier, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. Scapegoat, helpful card. I think Joey used it. Lightning Vortex. Fisher. Another Lightning Vortex. Gigantes, this is like the Remove from Play series where you could remove monsters to special summon. Breaker the Magical Warrior, one of Yugi's cards, a very resourceful card for destroying magic and traps. And it's in ultra rare, limited edition form, whatever the fuck you want to call it. A shiny Morphing Jar 2, which fucks up your opponent's monsters, which I always love to use. The Night Assailant, and a burp. Another Gigantes. Torrential Tribute in limited edition form. I think this might be from the Gold series, if I'm remembering this correctly. And this destroys all monsters. Let me hold this with this hand, because it's hurting my other hand. Despair from the Dark. That's not focusing very well. I apologize. It's gonna fuck up when I focus. I can't change it, but whatever. Despair from the Dark. Just a powerful card, not really rare. Blah, 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 blah. Wall of Illusion. I'm just going through this for a trip down memory lane. The original exchange card, this was the original card that came out before they included it in the Yugi series. This is, I don't know if you can read that. It's, hold on a minute, it's going to focus in like 2 seconds. Yep. It says EDS 001, which means it's from the original set. I think a friend of mine in New Jersey actually gave me this card when I went over his house, and I still have it, so that's pretty cool that I still have that card after all that time. Slate Warrior, very powerful card and a very useful card with a good effect. Magic Drain. Let's see, Sekaratsu Armor, blah, 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 we already went through that. The original Morphing Jar, which can help you if you're in a pinch with cards. Giant fucking man-eating plant. Nobleman of Crossout. Jinzo, my favorite, probably one of my favorite cards. I love this fucking guy. He can negate all trap cards. 1 sacrifice, shiny, ultra rare, or whatever you want to call it. Super rare, shiny rare, fucker rare, I don't care. We got the Card Guard in shiny form. The Mask of Darkness. A big running fucking dinosaur. Marshmelon, a monster that can't be destroyed in battle, pretty useful. We have the Dark Ruler Hades. And I don't know what edition this is. It doesn't say, and the letters are shiny, but I'm sure there's some sort of edition for it. I don't know. The Giant Soldier of Stone, another common Yu-Gi-Oh card. DD Warrior Lady. I remember when this card was so popular when it first came out. People used this card all the times with freaking destruction decks. It was very, very resourceful. So, if a rare DD Warrior Lady. I guess that's one of the cards I didn't remove from my original deck. Gigantes, again. I had 3 of those. Brain Control. Spirit Reaper, another card that can't be destroyed in battle. The Archfiend Soldier, good number of attack points. And lastly, we have a girl that hasn't hit puberty yet. There, that's what I wanted to say. Alright. Oh, let me actually pick that up. That is my entire Yu-Gi-Oh card collection. I'm sure most people didn't expect me to actually even play this game, but this was something that I was heavily into. Years ago, I went to competitions, I won money, I actually ranked up pretty high, and then there was a point in time where I just couldn't make it. Other people obviously played the game way more than I did, and they beat me out, so unfortunately I didn't make it very far. But I did do pretty well for the time in the cards that I had. I usually, I subscribed to Yu-Gi-Oh magazines. I'd read up on the strongest cards and stuff. And at the time, this was probably one of the most popular card series. I mean, I know there was like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, but those card games really never appealed to me just because they were so confusing. This card game series is actually very simple to understand. It's all about monsters and stuff, and the stars indicate when it can be summoned and stuff, so that's Yu-Gi-Oh! That's basically a trip down memory lane. I was bored today, and I was like, you know what, I can make a video for the fans. My next footage probably isn't going to be, Saints Row the Third or some other game, so I was like, you know what, I fucking found this Yu-Gi-Oh! Card collection, why don't I show the fans? I have some rare cards here, why not just, go into my trips of memory lane and show you guys my cards, alright? So I thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing of well, not really unboxing, pretty much just my old cards that I owned years ago. These cards are pretty old, so they're like, I think some of these cards are like 10 years old. Some of these cards I just didn't bother selling, so I still have them, so. Alright. I'm the TheAireaidLord. I'll see you guys later. Let me know if you want any of these cards. I really don't mind selling some of these cards to fans who want them. Obviously, I mean, I guess I could charge for them. At this point, I really don't give a shit if I charge money for these cards or not. I mean, to me, they're pretty insignificant because I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore, and I'll never intend on playing it. You know, I already have stuff going on in my life. I have my YouTube channel with the video games that I play, so there's no way I could even attempt to get back into this. And none of my friends even like this anymore. I mean, I had all sorts of friends in New Jersey who I went to tournaments with, but now, I mean, I don't really see those people at all. And this game has pretty much died out in my memory. So, okay. That's it. This is the TheAireaidLord. I hope you enjoyed the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Memory Lane special from the TheAireaidLord. This is 15 minutes, almost going 16 minutes. I'll have to stop the video. And I'll see all of you later.